System back online. System malfunctioning. System reactivated. Serious trauma detected.
What's up, agents? Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. In today's video, I'm going to showcase to you my best solo countdown build. Do you guys want to humiliate hunters with absolute ease? With this build, you'll be able to strafe in front of a hunter and one mag him. It's unbelievable. You guys are going to really like this. Do you want to be able to go through the missions or the objectives, melting through enemies and never ever taking enough damage to make you feel like you're about to die? This is going to be the perfect build for you. This is probably going to be one of the best solo builds you can make right now in the countdown. I'm going to be utilizing the Heartbreaker set. Why? Because I tried a bunch of different combinations. Hunter's Fury, Foundry Bulwark. I tried a high-end build with improvised pieces. I tried many different talents, but they all were not as good as the Heartbreaker set. So let's take a look at the specialization before we get into the actual description of the build. So with the specialization, I have gone for Survivalist. Now, there's a reason for that. The main reason is going to be protection from elites. I've never really made a protection from elites build ever. I think this is actually my first one. The reason being is because in other game modes like Summit, normal missions, things like that, there were never really a lot of elites. Like 75% of the enemies in the game were not elites. So I kind of felt like it was a waste of time to do protection from elites unless you were farming hunters or you were doing floor 100 of the Summit, or maybe some kind of the area where there's majority elites. But I think the countdown is the perfect time for me to make a build like this. You might get some robotics that might not be elite, but the majority of the enemies in this are going to be elite. So you're going to be able to tank so much more damage. It is absolutely vital, especially when you're farming hunters, or I'm saying farming hunters because with this build, you can actually just destroy hunters like they're nothing. So I think this is going to be very important, and we get 10% increased protection from elites. So just make sure you guys do utilize this. If you want the extra 10%, you might find it may not be worth it. You could go for another specialization for the armor kit or the striker shield. Like for example, you might go for the firewall and increase your damage. It really does depend on how you want to play and what you want to use. But I just wanted to go and just spec more into that protection from elites to try get it as high as I possibly can. Let's take a look at the build now. So I think any solo countdown build needs to be able to fight hunters, and this is going to be the perfect one for you to do that. Not only can we mince our way through the enemies in the objective phases, but you can also just mince through the hunters as well. Now with this build right here, we have got the 4-piece Heartbreaker. Now it's just too good. The chest piece, you cannot pass it up, and we have got Memento Bag, which is just ridiculous. I can actually fight the hunters without getting any stacks of the Memento Bag. If you don't want the Memento Bag, what I would recommend going for is just any brand set, you know, Cheska or Fenris, depending on what kind of gun you want to use. Even an LMG, you can go for Petrov. just roll Vigilance, because Vigilance would be a great talent if you don't want to use this. With the Heartbreaker set, we're getting a lot of bonus armor. Therefore, Vigilance will always stay active as long as you have bonus armor, because it doesn't count towards damage to you. It's a separate entity. It's damage to the bonus armor. So this is going to be the perfect build, guys, honestly, for solo countdown. I've tried this multiple combinations, to be honest. I think this works really well. So with this setup, we do actually have 58% protection from elites, which is really, really nice. And how am I getting this? I will showcase that to you guys now. So with the weapons, first and foremost, let's talk about the weapons and how much armor you want to have with this build. Now, I only use the Eagle Bearer to give it a try. It's really good, but the Kingbreaker is going to be by far the best. It's arguably the best gun in the game right now. It gives you a lot of extra damage. So with this talent right here, Perfect Flatline, amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies, huge amounts of damage, and after 2 kills, it applies the pulse to the next enemy that you hit. With this, how are we going to pulse? We don't need the linked laser pointer. We can't put it on because we don't have technician specialization. We are going to be doing it with headshots. So that's why I don't need to spec at all into that. I have spec'd this build into a headshot build. That is why I've got crit chance modifications, because I think even if you're running a headshot build, it's still good if you don't need weapon handling, because let's be honest, I'm not going to be shooting them from too far away. So crit chance is beneficial, so I can utilize my baseline crit damage that I have on the build anyway, even though I'm not speccing into it. So it does help. So it depends how you want to balance it. Just try put crit chance modifications and utilize the sturdy extended magazine right here. So the rock and roll shotgun, best, guys, for stacking up the Heartbreaker. As you know from my previous videos, damage to targets out of cover, very good. That's what I've rolled on mine. It's very powerful. Make sure you use it. Then your orbit pistol for more crit damage. I sometimes forget to use it, but as you guys know, give it a try. Gives you more critical hit damage, even though this is not a crit build. So this is going to be more for PC players. And trust me, you can use this on console, even if you can't really hit the head that well. This will work, guys. So what you could do is maybe just sacrifice the extra 10% protection from elites. You can go for technician and then put the linked laser pointer and then just make this into a crit build. So just roll crit chance and or crit chance on all the Heartbreaker pieces, and then on the improvised gloves, crit chance and crit damage. And then you could even use an extra crit chance mod if you don't want to go for all the blue mods. As you can see, I've got blue mods, and then you're good to go. And then you could use something like a Cheska bag. So it's really up to you. You can turn this into a body shot crit build. It works not as well, but it works just as good. So it's really up to you, depending on how you want to aim. Because remember, because I've got headshot damage rolled on my pieces, with headshot damage, it is more beneficial, because when you're not critting, you're still increasing your damage. So 100% of my bullets are getting an increase in damage. Whereas if I only put in crit chance or crit damage, only 60% of my bullets, or depending on RNG, will actually get the increase in damage. So if you guys see what I mean. So let's take a look at the pieces now. 1.4 million armor. I would definitely recommend this amount. It is perfect. You could even go one more blue. I tried this with an extra blue. It works well. Do not go less than this armor. Otherwise, the hunters can melt you semi-quick. You can make it work, but you're going to have to be a bit more careful. As you guys see from the gameplay, I can strafe and troll the hunters. It's quite hilarious. And I couldn't believe how powerful this setup actually is. And the crazy thing is the previous Heartbreaker build I made, it doesn't look very different, but there are massive differences between this and that. That build will not work as a solo countdown build. This is going to be perfect. That's why we have made use of the Memento backpack. Let's talk about how the Heartbreaker works if you guys don't know first. So we have got a 4-piece. So we get assault rifle damage, LMG damage. I tried the Dare LMG, but the Kingbreaker is just too good. You can use it though. It is up to you. Weapon handling helps as well. So Heartstopper headshots apply a pulse for 5 seconds. Weapon hits on pulsed enemies add a stack of 1% bonus armor, which is ridiculously good, and 1% damage to pulsed enemies, up to a max stack of 50. So just make sure you guys do stack the enemies. I go for headshots, so it doesn't matter, but you can still hit hard to the body anyway, even if you don't spec into crit damage or crit chance. It's quite crazy. 2 stacks are lost each second, so we do have quite a bit, and I think it's important to take note that every piece that I've got on here, I've got headshot damage on the chest piece, and headshot damage here, and then the holster, knee pads, I've actually got crit chance, just because I couldn't find one to roll the blue on, because it is difficult to find the proper red attributes and then roll the blue or a red, because normally it comes natively with blue, so you're going to have to find a blue one with like crit chance or headshot damage, and I haven't found knee pads yet. Then you get your headshot damage. I've got mine to 111%, which is not that much, but my crit chance is not bad considering I haven't really spec'd into crit chance bar the knee pads and the gloves, I think. So let's take a look at the chest piece. This is very important now. This increases max stacks for Heartstopper from 50 to 100%, which is absolute must. 50% more damage and 50% more bonus armor. It is really, really important. That is what makes it worth it. And it gives you so much more damage and survivability. Then with the gloves, guys, go and craft them from the crafting bench. Try get the rolls that you need. This is perfect for me. Headshot, crit chance. The reason why we use improvised gloves, you can use improvised knee pads or an improvised holster, vice versa, whichever one is better for you. It doesn't really matter. The reason why we do this is because we have got 12% protection from Elite's modification. So farm these. If you don't have them, sometimes you can buy them from the vendors. Check the vendor updates. I'm sure there might be one now actually, or just go to the countdown and farm gear mods and you can be able to get these. 12% modification there. On the backpack, another 12% protection from Elites. On the mask, another 12%. And chest piece, another 12%. Huge amounts of PFE plus the 10% from the actual specialization. This is what allows us to tank so much damage from the hunters and the normal enemies in the countdown mode. Then the memento, this gives us so much utility, guys. For playing solo, now you cannot really use this in a team. You can change this build up for a team. Like I said before, use like a Cheska bag or a Fenris bag or a Petrov bag, depending on how much crit chance you have and what gun you're using. And then you can just have vigilance. But this memento gives us weapon damage, skill efficiency, and bonus armor temporarily and also long term. So we get 3% armor regen, which is just crazy. So we're going to be able to survive and just regen our armor all the time. It helps any solo player, and it also increases the health of our shield, which is vital. Now, the only problem that I'm having with hunters, and that, to be honest, not really much of a problem, because you can still face trade them without a shield. You don't need to use a shield with this build. So this was mainly for weapon damage and the armor regen and just the extra bonus armor. With this shield, you don't even need to use it, as you will see from the gameplay, because you can tank so much. The reason why I do is because it just showcases how it increases the actual health from the memento stacks. So you can fight the hunters without memento stacks, but obviously won't be as good. Just farm a bit from the objectives and then move towards the hunters. I can actually show you guys some gameplay of me fighting hunters right now. I'm showing you gameplay of me. This is when I had an extra blue, I think maybe 1 or 2 extra blues. And then I had no memento stacks, and keep in mind that all the gameplay you're seeing today, I've got none of the increases on the top left. When you go to countdown, you activate the nodes and you get increased close range damage, long range damage, stuff like that. I've got none of those activated, so I could get way more damage and melt these guys way faster if I actually activated them, which I didn't because I wanted to showcase the build without it, because obviously that would be kind of like cheating. So with this, I think it's the only problem with the hunters is they actually disrupt you, but it's not really a problem because you can tank their damage. They're like normal hard NPCs. They're not even that they don't hit that hard. So they will disrupt you, kind of like move away if you need to use your shield or your decoy. The decoy does help, that's why I've got it on me, but it really is up to you. I tried to spec into hazard protection with a build like this, or even try like a Has Pro build. You're just giving up so much for just being able to hide a bit and then come out, and then they don't disrupt you again. So it's kind of pointless. So I tried Hasbro. Don't give it a try. I wouldn't recommend it. Just go for this, guys. You will see. You will just blitz through it. Trust me, guys. It's so much fun and I really enjoy it. So I'm going to let you guys watch some additional gameplay. Let's try to get this video to over 500 likes. I would love that. Thank you very much, guys. I will be live on Twitch after this video goes live. So click the link in the description and come say hello. So pause the video if you want to have a look at any of these stats. And with that being said, guys, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out, guys.
How could Reload.
Die!
'Data transfer halted. High-risk target detected.
Thunder and take it! Closing up the objective. Armor's in tatters. Just lie down and die.
It's going down. Fucking
10 minutes to lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
Redirect excessive power to stabilize power distribution.
Shit! Get the hell away from me!
Area secure.